The Keto Diet Advantage. The remarkable ways ketosis can transform your health. Now that you know a little about how my keto diet program works, I'm going to share what it does for your health. This is where things get exciting. When you hear the word diet, you probably think weight loss, period. But medical studies are proving that the ketogenic diet can not only help you lose weight remarkably fast, but also boost your brain health, balance gut bacteria, reduce inflammation, fight cancer, balance hormones, and do a whole lot more. When I say it's the diet that can work when nothing else will, I mean it. Dozens of studies have revealed just how powerful this approach is for transforming your health. The ketogenic diet is in a league of its own because it essentially hacks your body in a way no other diet can. It puts you into ketosis, so you stop burning sugar for energy and start burning fat. Here's the analogy I often use with patients. Say you want to build a campfire that will burn slowly, throw off consistent heat, and last a long time. You have 3 choices for fuel: kindling, logs, or coal. Kindling catches fire quickly and burns out fast. Logs burn longer once they're finally lit. But the fuel that will give you the longest, steadiest, most satisfying burn is coal. The problem is, it's harder to get coal to light. It's the same in your body. There are 3 types of fuel you can use for energy. Carbs are like kindling. They catch fire quickly and give you instant energy, but they burn off fast, so your energy crashes a couple of hours after you eat them, triggering hunger and cravings. Protein is like logs. It gives you more sustained energy than carbs. But the best fuel source is fat. It's your body's coal, the steadiest, longest-lasting source of energy. And the only way to get your body to burn fat, aside from going on a no-food or low-food diet, is to eat a satisfying, nutrient-rich, ketogenic diet. My keto diet's ratio of high fat to low carbs forces your body to dip into its stubborn fat stores for fuel, a physiological shift that's as broadly beneficial as exercise in terms of the array of effects it can have on your body. Sadly, we're in desperate need of dietary rescue. In the 1960s, doctors began recommending a low-fat diet as the path to better health, and by the 1990s, the USDA conveyed this message to the public in the form of a food pyramid. A healthy diet, the pyramid showed, should be built upon a solid foundation of bread, cereal, rice, and pasta, and as little fat as possible. Based on that fat is bad mentality, we swapped out all the healthy fats that had fueled people's bodies and brains for thousands of years. Things like bone broth and grass-fed meats and avocados and coconuts, for carbs, and more carbs. For proof, go to your local grocery store and walk around the aisles. What do you see? At least half the store is likely to be packaged carbs. Cereal, crackers, pasta, sauces, salad dressing, bread, cookies, candy, soda. Those jam-packed shelves are the epicenter of the obesity epidemic, the place where most of our nation's current health problems were born. Diabetes is a prime example. It's one of the top 10 most common health conditions in the United States. Almost 10% of people, that's more than 30 million nationwide, now have the illness, putting them at risk of all sorts of other serious health problems, like heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, vision loss, and premature death. More than half of limb amputations in the United States are attributable to diabetes. It literally causes loss of life and limb. And there are 84 million more people with blood sugar numbers that put them in the pre-diabetic range, people who are teetering on the brink of developing the full-blown version of the disease. That boggles my mind. In 1958, just 1.5 million people were diagnosed with diabetes. Now, more than 100 million adults in the United States are living with prediabetes or diabetes and facing all the serious health consequences that occur when your body is overrun by glucose. Deb McFeely of San Diego was almost one of them. Her doctor told her at age 59 that her blood sugar was high. Not long after receiving that unsettling news, she heard about Keto 360, a program I created with my colleagues Jordan Rubin, Dr. Jason Olafson, and Dr. Isaac Jones, which forms the foundation of the comprehensive approach I've laid out in this book. Worried about her health, she decided to give the diet a try. In the first month, Deb lost 13 pounds, along with 8 inches of body fat, 5 from around her waist, an inch from each thigh, and half an inch from each of her arms. I've dieted off and on most of my adult life, and this is hands down the most effective and easiest thing I've ever done, she says. The diet is so filling, I sometimes have to remind myself to eat, and I rarely crave sugar anymore. I'm sleeping better, too. I used to wake up a lot during the night and feel exhausted all day. Now I have this deep, restful sleep, so my energy is higher. But the real moment of truth came when Deb went back to her doctor. He told me I had completely reversed my blood sugar. My numbers were back in the normal range, she recalls. It was a really great moment. I'm getting older and my health is important to me, but I wasn't sure I could do anything to change my blood sugar. Getting off sugar and bread and eating more vegetables and healthy fat has restored my health. And I'm back in the skinny jeans I wore 5 years ago. This isn't just a diet. I see it as a recipe for living. The top 7 health problems the keto diet can help. I never get tired of hearing stories like Deb's. They remind me that I'm doing what I was meant to do, not just offering people a way to look good in their clothes, but actually helping them heal the underlying problems that crop up because of our modern lifestyle. If you suffer from any number of common ailments, abnormal blood sugar, high cholesterol, hormonal issues, chronic inflammation, lack of energy, or difficulty concentrating, a key factor is likely your overconsumption of carbohydrates. If you've struggled for years to lose weight but never had long-term success, carbs are probably to blame as well. But more and more research is showing that by getting back to ancient nutrition, eating lots of healthy fats, and tapping into the powerful state of ketosis, you give your body the opportunity to clear out toxins, reset hormones, fight a staggering array of diseases, and essentially cure itself. Ketosis is beneficial for the following 7 all-too-common health-related issues. If you're struggling with any one of them, my keto diet program is for you. Diabetes. When we eat processed foods and refined sugar, they flood our bloodstream with glucose. It's not healthy to have too much sugar in the blood, so your body does its best to get rid of it. The pancreas swings into action and secretes insulin, the hormone that moves excess glucose out of the blood and into the liver, muscles, and body fat. But when most of your calories come from foods like pasta, bread, chips, and crackers, your pancreas is constantly churning out high levels of insulin. Over time, your cells adapt to the onslaught of insulin by reducing the number of insulin-sensitive receptor cells on their surface. They become insulin-resistant, a key contributor to diabetes and heart disease. Think of it this way. Each cell is a house with a certain number of doors. Insulin is the only substance that can open the doors and let glucose into the house. When the body produces too much insulin, the houses respond by reducing the number of doors, which means insulin and glucose pile up outside in the blood. When you have too much sugar in your bloodstream, it causes system-wide inflammation, wears away at your arteries and organs, and damages your whole body, making you old before your time. The pancreas doesn't know the number of doors has decreased, so it responds by producing more insulin to remove the excess blood sugar. That helps for a while. But at a certain point, the pancreas can't keep up with the increased demand. When that happens, when you have high blood sugar paired with insulin-resistant cells, you become a national statistic. You're diabetic. Fortunately, clinical studies are proving that what happened to Deb is the norm. In a study published in the journal Nutrition and Metabolism, Researchers from Duke University Medical Center and the Department of Veterans Affairs Medical Center put overweight people with type 2 diabetes on a ketogenic diet for 16 weeks. By the end, more than 80% of participants' glycemic control was so much better, they were able to reduce the dosage of their medications, and more than a third of participants discontinued their meds entirely. As researchers in Italy pointed out in a comprehensive review of the therapeutic uses of the ketogenic diet not long ago, when people with type 2 diabetes go on a ketogenic diet, results have been nothing short of remarkable. Keto diet versus standard diet. Keto diet. High fat. Balances blood sugar. Lipase releases triglycerides. Fat goes to the liver. Liver produces ketones for energy. Standard diet. High carb. Increases blood sugar. Pancreas releases insulin. Sugar enters the cells. Cells use sugar for energy. Heart disease. Steering clear of raging blood sugar and out-of-control insulin is good for your heart as well. But there are additional ways the ketogenic diet protects your cardiovascular system. A 2013 study, published in the British Journal of Nutrition, found that those following a keto diet achieved better long-term body weight and cardiovascular risk factor management when compared with people assigned to a conventional low-fat diet. The keto diet lowers cholesterol and triglycerides while increasing the level of good HDL cholesterol, reducing common risk factors for heart attack and stroke. Keto diet benefits. Causes weight loss, fat. How? Uses fat instead of sugar for fuel. Lowers insulin so the body stores less fat. Significantly reduces appetite. Fights type 2 diabetes. How? Prevents excessive insulin release. Creates normal blood sugar levels. Fights heart disease. How? Lowers bad LDL cholesterol. Lowers triglycerides. Raises good HDL cholesterol. Protects against cancer. How? May starve cancer cells. High-sugar diets feed cancer cells. Fights neurological disorders. How? Improves mitochondrial function. Yields a neuroprotective effect. Improves longevity. How? Triggers fasting state linked to longevity gene. Reduces inflammation, a driver of disease. Weight loss. Most people lose a significant amount of weight on my keto diet program, and do so quickly. In one study, 83 obese patients who weighed between 218 and 227 pounds were put on a ketogenic diet. After 8 weeks, they'd lost on average 22 pounds, and after 24 weeks, they'd lost as many as 42 pounds. I saw even more astounding weight loss in my clinic, as have colleagues of mine who prescribe a keto diet in their functional medicine practices. When you're eating a satisfying diet that helps you burn body fat for fuel and reduce your levels of the fat storage hormone insulin, it's easy to lose weight and keep it off. Epilepsy and seizure disorders. The ketogenic diet was discovered in the early 1920s, when several doctors around the country began looking at diet as a way to treat epilepsy. They already knew that fasting was remarkably effective at reducing and even eliminating seizures. Fasting had been used since at least 2000 BC. It's mentioned in the Hippocratic Corpus, a collection of about 60 ancient Greek medical documents associated with the teachings of Hippocrates, the father of medicine, and is recommended in the Bible for physical, mental, and spiritual health benefits. But fasting obviously isn't feasible as a long-term treatment. So, Dr. Russell Wilder at the Mayo Clinic and a group of MDs at Harvard began experimenting with diets to see if they could find a way to mimic fasting while allowing patients to eat, and came to the same conclusion. A very low-carb, high-fat diet not only created the same biological state as fasting, but also had the same beneficial effect on children with seizures. Epilepsy is more common in young children and the elderly than in teens and adults. Their behavior and cognition seemed to improve as well. In another early study of more than 1,000 children at Johns Hopkins Hospital who were prescribed the diet, 52% attained complete seizure remission, and 27% had a significant reduction. I've heard similar stories. When a neurologist recommended a ketogenic diet for Haley, Eric Alber's 10-year-old daughter, who has intractable seizures due to a rare developmental disorder known as Smith-Magenis syndrome, Eric decided both he and his daughter should try my keto protocol. Prior to starting the diet, Haley was having at least one small seizure every day and a grand mal seizure every 2 or 3 weeks, and anti-seizure medications only made Haley's underlying syndrome worse. The first month on the keto diet, Haley had 0 seizures, not even the tiny ones she'd been having daily. She's had some episodes since, but I think they happened when she wasn't in ketosis. She is also functioning better cognitively. She's mellower, more talkative, and more jovial, and she's sleeping about 6 or 7 solid hours a night. That was unheard of before. It has helped both of us feel better. In fact, Eric dropped from 214 to 190 pounds and a size 40 to a size 34 pant. And the stubborn love handles and belly he could never get rid of are almost gone. I did this diet for Haley, he says, but it has really saved me, too. Other neurological disorders. A European Journal of Clinical Nutrition study pointed to emerging data suggesting that the ketogenic diet can be helpful for treating numerous neurological disorders, including headaches, head injuries like concussions, Parkinson's, sleep disorders, brain cancer, autism, and multiple sclerosis. A sample of the promising research. Studies have found the diet may improve the cognitive functioning of Alzheimer's patients. In patients with Parkinson's, the severity of symptoms decreased by 43% after a month on the ketogenic diet. Case studies reported in the medical journal Frontiers in Pediatrics found improved learning abilities and social skills in autistic children following a ketogenic diet. Despite their different symptoms, most neurological diseases share a common underlying abnormality. Sufferers' brain cells show deficient or defective energy production. And that's where my keto diet program can be extremely beneficial. Ketones, the fuel you burn when you're in ketosis, easily cross the blood-brain barrier and increase the number and functioning of mitochondria, the brain cell's energy factories, especially in the hippocampus, a brain region important for learning and memory. In people with age-related brain diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia, symptoms like memory loss are caused by degeneration of cells in the hippocampus. Because ketosis helps mitochondria churn out more energy, it protects vulnerable brain cells from disease-related problems that would ordinarily kill them. In addition, ketones are a more efficient fuel than glucose for the brain, providing more energy per unit of oxygen used, and they inhibit the production of damaging free radicals, unpaired electrons that are a normal byproduct of cellular metabolism but can harm cells and their DNA and are a hallmark of aging and brain degeneration. As a result, the ketogenic diet holds promise not just for reducing symptoms and slowing the progression of devastating neurological disorders, but also for bolstering the cognitive performance of healthy people and shielding their brains from age-related decline. What are ketones? Ketosis occurs when the liver breaks down fat into fatty acids, a process called beta oxidation. The body then breaks down these fatty acids into ketones, which you can burn as fuel. Why are ketones important? Once ketone levels in the blood rise to a certain point, then you've officially entered the metabolism-boosting state of ketosis. When your body stays fueled with circulating ketones, your metabolism is altered in a way that turns you into a fat-burning machine. Many experts consider burning ketones to be a cleaner way to stay energized compared to running on carbs and sugar. Burning ketones has been shown to cause less oxidative damage to cells, which in turn helps them create more energy. Cancer. I have no way of knowing for certain what ultimately caused my mom's second bout of cancer to retreat, but my medical instinct and understanding of how ketosis affects the biology of cancer cells tells me her keto-like diet had a lot to do with it. Studies suggest that ketogenic diets may starve cancer cells, and here's how. While healthy cells in our body are able to use fat for fuel, cancer cells seem to preferentially feed on glucose, a highly processed, inflammation-producing, low-nutrient, carb-heavy diet may fuel cancer cells, causing them to proliferate and spin out of control. Glucose is the juice cancer needs to survive and spread. As long ago as 1987, researchers began reporting decreased tumor weight and improved strength and body weight in mice with colon cancer that were put on a ketogenic diet. Animal studies since then have shown that ketogenic diets limit tumor growth and improve survival in a range of different types of cancer, including glioma, a cancer that affects the brain and spinal cord, colon cancer, gastric cancer, and prostate cancer. At the same time, there's reason to believe that by helping you lose weight and reduce inflammation, both of which are factors in cancer growth and proliferation, following a keto diet can reduce your risk of developing cancer in the first place. Inflammation. In the short term, inflammation is a good thing. It's your body's first line of defense against all sorts of harmful insults, from injuries to infections. In fact, the swelling, redness, and pain of an inflammatory response are all vital proponents of the healing process. When inflammation goes on too long, however, it's dangerous. When inflammatory cells linger in your blood vessels, for instance, they promote the buildup of dangerous plaque, which ratchets up the risk of heart attack and stroke. Chronic inflammation can also play a role in Alzheimer's, inflammatory bowel disease, arthritis, cancer, psoriasis, lung disease, depression, and gum disease, and even impede weight loss by impairing hunger and satiety signals and slowing metabolism. But here's the great news. Evidence is building that the ketogenic diet can be a powerful inflammation fighter. If you think of inflammation as an internal fire, ketosis tames the flames by producing fewer free radicals than when your body is metabolizing carbohydrates, and free radicals fuel inflammation. At the same time, when the liver turns fatty acids into ketones, it elevates levels of adenosine, a substance that is one of the body's best natural anti-inflammatories. And my keto diet program contains tons of anti-inflammatory foods, from berries to herbs, designed to make the most of this natural beneficial effect of ketosis and restore your body to a state of wellness. Keto your way to a longer, healthier life. When Christy Marchand, 58, a retired Army veteran in Bullhead City, Arizona, stepped on the scale in her doctor's office, she almost couldn't believe her eyes. At 5 feet 8 inches tall, she weighed 245 pounds. According to the BMI chart, she was obese. Christy had been active her whole life and never had to worry about her weight. Then, while taking steroids for a tumor in her eye that her doctor thought was cancer, it wasn't, she put on weight, and the extra pounds, along with the uncertainty about her health, made her depressed. So she did what many of us do. She turned to carbs for comfort. By the time she stepped on the scale at the doctor's office, Christy had developed arthritis in her neck, lower back, and knees that made every movement painful. I was absolutely miserable, so I talked my husband into doing the ketogenic diet with me, she says. After 4 months on my keto diet protocol, Christy had lost 36 pounds, and her husband had lost 40. and the pain from her arthritis is a distant memory, probably because the high-fat, low-carb approach reduced her inflammation. "We feel so much better," she says. "We've realized that this eating plan can help keep us healthy for the rest of our lives." There's every reason to believe that my keto diet program can help all of us age more healthfully. After all, as I've mentioned, it was discovered because it puts the body into ketosis, just like fasting, and fasting is one of the most effective ways to increase longevity. Studies have shown that reducing calorie consumption by 30 to 40% extends lifespan by a third or more in many animals. And there's also data showing that limiting food intake can keep you healthier as you age. It not only adds years to your life, it adds life to your years. Fasting mice, for instance, have higher levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that prevents stressed brain cells from dying. And it escalates autophagy, the body's system for getting rid of damaged molecules, including ones that are tied to neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Indeed, studies have shown that intermittent fasting is associated with greater lifespan and health span. When University of Florida researchers put 19 people on an alternate day fasting program, in which they ate normally one day, then consumed fewer than 500 calories the next, for just 3 weeks, the participants' cells began making more copies of the SIRT3 gene, one of several longevity genes that prevent free radical production and improve cells' ability to repair mutations. Evidence is emerging that the ketogenic diet mimics fasting's longevity benefits. A 2017 study at the Buck Institute for Research on Aging found that mice fed a ketogenic diet lived significantly longer on average than those fed a controlled diet, and older mice on the ketogenic diet were remarkably spry, with better motor function, muscle mass, and memory. No similar head-to-head study has ever been done in humans, nor will it, since people live far longer and can't be trusted to stick to a strictly controlled diet for years on end. But a study in the renowned medical journal The Lancet that looked at more than 135,000 adults in 18 countries found that a high-carb diet was associated with a higher risk of mortality, whereas a high-fat diet was associated with lower death rates. The potential of ketosis to protect and promote health is staggering. That's why I believe so wholeheartedly in my keto diet program. And it's my hope that by understanding how this plan can help you look and feel better in the here and now, reduce your risk for many of the diseases that often strike with age, and add healthy, vibrant years to your life, you'll recognize the promise and power of my keto diet too. Chapter 3. How to Kickstart Ketosis. The Art of Macro Manipulation and the 8 Critical Keto Strategies. Several years into my practice, a new patient came to see me. Dave was a friendly guy, a former high school football player who had put on a few pounds every year since he'd stopped playing. By the time he wound up in my office, he was in his 30s and 25 pounds overweight, and his health was suffering. His blood sugar levels put him in the pre-diabetes zone, and he was taking medication to keep his blood pressure and cholesterol under control. He told me he had recently started on a ketogenic diet to try to get his health under control, and although he'd lost a few pounds, he wasn't feeling great. "Here's the problem, Doc," he said. "My joints hurt. I'm tired and sluggish. My skin is breaking out like when I was in high school. I've heard great things about this diet, but I can't figure out what's going on. Can you help me?" I told Dave I was glad he'd found the ketogenic diet and explained that many of my patients had incredible success with the approach. "But," I said, "there's a right and a wrong way to go keto, and without some guidance, it's easy to run into problems." I told Dave he had a classic case of the keto flu, a condition that sometimes develops when people's bodies are shifting from burning sugar to burning fat and adjusting to ketosis. But keto flu isn't inevitable, I explained, and it's actually unlikely if you approach the diet the right way. "Tell me what you're eating on a daily basis," I said to Dave, "and I bet we can sort this out." Dave outlined his usual day. Breakfast was coffee with bacon fried in butter. Lunch was usually a bacon, egg, and cheese wrap in a grain-free tortilla. Dinner was a non-organic burger topped with, you guessed it, bacon and cheese. I put my hand on his shoulder and smiled. "This is going to be easy to fix," I promised him, then gave him some suggestions for getting his keto program on track so he'd feel healthy and maximize his weight loss. First, I suggested he substitute beef bacon for pork bacon. Pork is often saturated with toxins and is more likely to carry parasites, and limit the beef bacon to once a day. In place of bacon, I told him to start his day with a hearty, wholesome keto smoothie made from avocado, coconut milk, collagen powder, and spinach. Since the healthiest way to go keto is to consume a wide variety of antioxidants and nutrients, I suggested he have a massive lunchtime salad of nutritious greens topped with avocado, organic free-range chicken breast, and olive oil. And for dinner, I recommended a grass-fed organic burger patty to avoid the hormones and toxins of conventional beef, with a heaping side of oven-roasted veggies topped with ghee, a type of butter that contains fat-soluble vitamins and healthy fatty acids and can build stronger bones and enhance weight loss. I wrote it all down for him and asked him to come back in 6 weeks. By the time I saw Dave again, he wasn't the same guy. He'd lost 20 pounds and looked trim and fit. His skin had cleared up, and his energy was at an all-time high. His blood pressure and cholesterol had returned to normal, so he was able to get off his medications, and his blood glucose was back in a safe, healthy range, so he'd headed off the risk of diabetes, too. Not long after that visit, I heard he'd started doing half-Ironman triathlons. I ran into him at a race years later, and the guy still looked incredible. Over the past decade or so, I've seen hundreds of Daves, people who are sincerely searching for a way to turn their health around and are ready to commit to the lifestyle changes that will make it happen, but who make some classic mistakes. They need solid, science-based guidance on how to implement changes in the safest, most effective way possible. I've made it my mission to provide that guidance. That's what my keto diet program is all about. Understanding macro manipulation and the keto flu. Dave's story brings up a common hazard for people who wing it on the ketogenic diet. He read that keto was a high-fat approach to weight loss and built a diet around the fatty foods he loved to eat, bacon and butter. The trouble is, pork bacon and conventional butter aren't nearly as nutrient-rich as many other high-fat choices. By eating less nutritious sources of fat, Dave inadvertently increased the likelihood that he'd develop the keto flu. There's an art to macro manipulation, and in the keto diet I've carefully chosen the most wholesome types of fat, along with an array of nutritional ingredients that bolster energy and mental clarity, reduce stress, yes, food can help, and promote healing, to fully support your body as it goes into ketosis. I'll explain more about those specific food choices in a minute, but first, I want to expand on the keto flu and why it happens, because poor nutrition is just one of several reasons people experience symptoms shortly after starting the diet. Entering ketosis transforms you from a sugar burner to a fat burner. There honestly aren't many other metabolic changes you could make that would be better for your health. But if you've consumed carbs your whole life, as most of us have, your body has never been anywhere near ketosis. So it's not uncommon to experience physical symptoms like fatigue, headaches, nausea, and constipation during this process. Hence, the keto flu. In addition, if you've been eating a typical American diet, there's a good chance you're addicted to carbs and sugar. And as with any substance you're hooked on, including tobacco or alcohol, it's common to feel withdrawal symptoms when you first break the habit. The comparison between sugar and addictive substances isn't just theoretical, by the way. The medical signs of substance abuse are cravings, continued use despite negative consequences, failed attempts to quit, and withdrawal symptoms. Sound familiar? Nearly every sugar or carb addict I've ever worked with would say they've experienced these, and there's a good scientific explanation for why. Research shows that sweets and high-carb foods affect the brain's reward system in much the same way that cocaine and nicotine do. When this brain region is activated, it releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure. The pattern is unconscious and uncontrollable. Every bite of sugar triggers a hit of dopamine, which makes you want more. When you stop the sugar-dopamine cycle by cutting out carbs, it sparks intense cravings. In fact, sugar cravings are the #1 reason my patients say they can't stick to their diets. Given the evidence that sugar is addicting, it's not surprising that the symptoms of keto flu are similar to those of withdrawal from other drugs: headaches, fatigue, brain fog, moodiness, symptoms that aren't dangerous but can make it hard to stick with the diet and lead some people to give up before they've had a chance to experience its benefits. But if you understand why those symptoms are occurring, that they're a sign you're breaking free of your long-time enslavement to carbs, including the energy highs and lows and the aggravating sugar cravings, and putting yourself on a cleaner, more wholesome path, the keto flu may be easier to cope with and less likely to derail your efforts. Symptoms typically go away on their own within a few weeks, once you get through sugar withdrawal and your system adjusts to using ketones, the end products of ketosis that your body actually uses as fuel, in place of glucose. But by following my keto diet program, you can minimize the intensity of the keto flu, or avoid it entirely. Over the years, I've identified the most nutritious foods that synergistically support the keto diet and can increase the likelihood that you'll breeze through ketosis feeling great. Like many people who learn a little bit about the ketogenic diet online, Dave made a classic mistake. He focused solely on macronutrients, specifically getting more fat and slashing carbs, instead of paying attention to the specific foods he was eating. By making bacon and butter the main staples of his diet, he was missing out on all the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants found in fat-rich foods like avocados, grass-fed beef, wild, fresh-caught salmon, nuts, and seeds, not to mention the veggies and herbs that are packed with nutrients and pair perfectly with healthy fat. To be honest, people can run into similar problems on virtually any type of diet. I've known vegans and vegetarians who wouldn't go within a mile of a steak, but still eat Cheetos. Here's the bottom line. While macros matter, the specific food choices you make are equally important. When you're changing your diet, you need to pay attention to the forest and the trees. On my keto diet plan, the forest and the trees work in tandem to transform your overall health. For instance, recent research has shown that the healthy fat that forms the backbone of the approach actually promotes the absorption of micronutrients from the rest of the diet. In a 2017 study at Iowa State University, researchers had participants eat a big healthy salad with a variety of veggies. When they tested study subjects' blood, they discovered that those who consumed more fat absorbed significantly higher quantities of 7 vital nutrients, including vitamin K, 2 forms of vitamin E, and 4 different carotenoids, substances that play a role in cancer prevention and vision protection. In fact, people who ate twice the amount of fat doubled their nutrient absorption. Because my keto diet pairs rich sources of fat and protein with greens and herbs that are teeming with antioxidants and healthy phytochemicals, it has the ability to ease you through the transition to ketosis and amplify both your fat-burning potential and the amount of actual nourishment you take in with every single healthy bite. For more guidance on how to start the keto diet, see my quick start guide at www.drax.com/keto-diet-kickstarter. Keto flu remedies. Side effect: low energy. Remedies: caffeine and adaptogen herbs. Side effect: nausea. Remedies: peppermint and ginger oil. Side effect: hunger cravings. Remedies: more healthy fat and bone broth. Side effect: brain fog. Remedies: rosemary oil and light exercise. Side effect: constipation. Remedies: water, probiotics, and magnesium. Side effect: difficulty sleeping. Remedies: lavender oil and collagen. Side effect: bad breath. Remedies: probiotics, green juice, and peppermint oil. The 8 essential strategies to supercharge your keto experience. My Keto Diet program is a wholesome approach to eating, regardless of what your specific goals are. Reducing blood sugar, resetting your hormones, losing weight, or just embracing a path to more robust good health overall. But I believe that if you understand why this approach is so healthy, you're more likely to make the commitment to stick with it. With that in mind, here are the 8 critical elements of my approach that will help you avoid the keto flu and maximize the benefits of your keto journey. Power up with plenty of superfats. Because the backbone of my Keto Diet program is healthy fat, you're going to be eating a lot more of it than you're used to. In order to stay in ketosis, you need to get about 70 to 80% of your daily calories from fat and round it out with 15 to 25% protein and 5% carbs. That can be tough to pull off at first, especially when you've been raised with a fat is bad mindset. If you're hungry, it's tempting to grab your usual quick carbs or even protein. Instead, you need to find go-to foods that are high in fat, like avocados, nuts, and veggies with lots of ghee or real olive oil. Eating too few calories can contribute to cravings, moodiness, and fatigue. On my keto diet, you're going to meet super healthy fats you might not ever have tried, including some powerhouse saturated fats that your diet has always been missing. MCTs, or medium-chain triglycerides, are saturated fatty acids that support brain function and healthy weight loss, and are largely absent from our modern Western diets. On my keto diet, you'll be eating lots of them. Coconut oil is a top source of MCTs, for instance, and it's one of my favorites. MCTs bolster fat burning and weight reduction, help you feel full longer, and might even raise your metabolic rate, so you burn calories faster. Consume collagen, the most important ingredient you're probably missing. When you think about protein in your body, the tissue that usually comes to mind is muscle. But here's something most people don't know. 30% of the protein in your body is made up of collagen. Ligaments, tendons, fascia, hair, nails, discs, bones, and skin, the largest organ in your body. Collagen is the tissue that holds your body together like glue. It's the scaffolding that provides strength and structure and the substance that gives skin its springy elasticity. Gram for gram, type 1 collagen fibers found in skin, tendons, organs, and bones are stronger than steel. Unfortunately, your body's collagen production declines with age. That's why, as the years tick by, we develop sagging skin, wrinkles, and creaky, aching joints, as the cartilage that cushions the bones gradually wears away and isn't replaced. But it doesn't have to be that way. Our ancestors got plenty of collagen in their diets. They ate tendons, ligaments, and organ meats from animals and made broth from their bones. We get virtually none. And if you're looking to regenerate and heal your body, you absolutely need it. Collagen should make up 25 to 30% of the protein in your diet. Bone broth is the #1 collagen food. You can make it yourself, buy it frozen, or purchase it in powder form and put it in your morning smoothie. If you're using collagen powder, look for one that contains multiple sources of collagen, including types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. You can also get collagen from the skin of wild fish, turkey, and chicken. And other foods support collagen production, including eggs, shiitake mushrooms, turmeric root, and fruits and veggies high in vitamin C, such as camu, citrus fruit, broccoli, and bell peppers. I emphasize collagen in my keto diet program because it's the most underappreciated nutrient out there, and it's vital for keeping the structure of your body strong, youthful, and free of age-related problems. Veg out to alkalize your body. Even though the bulk of your calorie intake will be from fats, you should eat vegetables with every meal. They're important for a variety of reasons. The ultimate goal of my keto diet program is to help you feel better and get healthier, and in order to do that, you need to alkalize your body. Here's what I mean by that. Every food falls into one of three categories: acidic, neutral, or alkaline, and produces those same conditions in your body. For example, eating too many processed carbs, which are acidic, can create chronic low-grade acidosis, which depletes your body of precious minerals like magnesium, calcium, and potassium, degrades bone health, increases inflammation, and sets the stage for chronic disease. Diets high in alkaline foods, on the other hand, like fresh vegetables, especially those that are green, promote an alkaline environment, which helps reduce inflammation, replenish your nutrient stores, and balance your body's pH levels, the measure of acidity in your system. Alkaline foods soothe the body from the inside out and create an environment in which healing can begin. Good alkaline food choices include dark leafy greens, avocados, mushrooms, radishes, artichokes, cucumbers, sprouts, broccoli, garlic, green beans, endive, and cabbage. Those veggies also contain lots of fiber and, as a result, can help prevent symptoms like constipation and diarrhea that often occur during the transition to ketosis. Herb up with adaptogens. We've all heard phrases like kale is king and broccoli is best. These veggies are powerhouses of the nutrition world that I encourage you to eat. But here's something you don't hear as often. Many herbs, like turmeric and cinnamon, are actually even more nutrient-dense than vegetables. They're nature's most potent medicine, and they're integral to my keto diet plan. They provide your body with important building blocks it needs to rejuvenate itself on a cellular level, and some of my favorite herbs are vital for curbing stress. You've undoubtedly heard that chronic stress can increase the hormone cortisol, a chemical that can damage the body in many ways. But one of cortisol's most dangerous effects is to promote fat storage. The deep belly fat that fuels metabolic problems is often the result of excess cortisol. Certain herbs called adaptogens tame this stress-related villain. Adaptogens are a unique category of healing plants that help stabilize your body, providing a potent antidote to stress. Herbs have been used for millennia by ancient systems of natural medicine, like traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. Now, cutting-edge science is catching up and revealing that herbs do indeed have the power to heal. I'll share more about the potent properties of herbs throughout the book, but here I want to highlight a handful that have the ability to keep cortisol in check and increase your overall energy. Following are 7 adaptogenic herbs that can support and bolster your keto efforts by limiting the damaging effects of stress, and that have a host of other healing benefits as well. Ashwagandha, an herb used commonly in Ayurvedic medicine, has been shown to reduce anxiety by relaxing the central nervous system. It also may have anti-inflammatory effects, promote insulin sensitivity, protect against cartilage damage, and reduce pain in osteoarthritis, and reduce the growth of breast, central nervous system, colon, and lung cancer cells. Holy basil, known in India as a powerful anti-aging supplement, contains two phytochemicals that seem to lower blood corticosterone, another stress hormone. It helps protect organs and tissues from industrial pollutants and heavy metals, and may fight chemical-induced lung, liver, oral, and skin cancers by increasing antioxidant activity and inducing cancer cell death. Panax, or Asian ginseng, has been shown to exhibit a wide range of biological effects, including relieving and preventing mental fatigue and stress. In 2010, UK researchers reported that it improved some aspects of working memory and promoted a feeling of calm in study subjects doing mental arithmetic. In Chinese medicine, it's used as a yang tonic. Yang is the activating force in the yin-yang theory, to increase strength and stamina. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, may bolster metabolism, and may inhibit the growth of cancerous tumors, particularly those in the colon. Astragalus root helps beat stress by decreasing the release of some stress hormones and temporarily increasing others to allow the body to respond more effectively to stress. It's also an immunity-boosting plant, has heart-protective effects, may slow tumor growth, and has long been used for increasing strength and stamina by practitioners of Chinese medicine. Licorice root can increase energy and endurance and has been shown to help the body more efficiently regulate cortisol, thereby improving your stress response. It also has antiviral properties and is a natural pain reliever. Rhodiola provides a biological defense against stress by lowering cortisol. Researchers in Sweden also found that it helps people cope with stress-related fatigue by increasing the ability to concentrate. It can also fight anxiety and bolster weight loss by promoting the body's ability to burn belly fat. Cordyceps mushrooms, although not technically herbs or adaptogens, have notable impacts on cortisol as well. Studies have shown that they temporarily boost cortisol in response to stress, then trigger a large drop during non-stress periods, allowing the body to recover. They also have important anti-tumor and immunity-enhancing properties. They contain complex sugars known as beta-glucans that may stop the growth and prevent the spread of cancer cells. When animals were fed beta-glucans, some cells of their immune system became more active. Hydrate. Dehydration makes every symptom of keto flu worse and can cause constipation, so it's vital to drink enough water, the equivalent of half your body weight in ounces. In other words, if you weigh 150 pounds, drink at least 75 ounces of water a day, in addition to the healthy green juices and bone broth smoothies you'll have as part of my keto diet program. Embrace sea salt. Electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, and sodium can be lost at a higher rate during ketosis as your kidneys flush them out, and electrolyte imbalances can contribute to headaches, weakness, and constipation. To combat this problem, I recommend adding sea salt to your meals. Sprinkle it on your morning eggs and your evening veggies. When purchasing salt, look for pink Himalayan salt and Celtic salt. They have the widest range of trace minerals that are beneficial for hydration. Take advantage of caffeine. One common challenge of your body's transition to fat burning is a temporary lack of energy. Not everyone experiences it, but it can happen. When you're used to burning glucose, an easily accessible fuel that gives you quick temporary bursts of energy, and you remove that option, it makes sense that you'd feel sluggish. Fortunately, caffeine is perfectly keto-friendly and is a great option for getting you through that low-energy phase. And guess what? A recent study shows that caffeine increases ketone production, especially when you consume it in the morning. Baby yourself. As your body is adjusting to ketosis, try not to overload it with an extra stressor like intense exercise. Get outdoors for a walk, do some yoga, take a bar class, or ride your bike to the store. But if you're feeling even mildly fatigued, hold off on high-intensity exercise until your body adjusts to your new regimen. At the same time, make sure you get plenty of sleep. ideally 7 to 9 hours, and take breaks to relax during the day, since stress will exacerbate any symptoms you might be having. How you can tell you're in ketosis. From a medical perspective, nutritional ketosis is diagnosed when the ketones in your blood reach a certain level. But measuring ketones in your blood, breath, or urine makes the approach less user-friendly, so I typically don't recommend it. I'd rather have you stick to my keto diet program than be put off by the need to assess your ketone levels. Besides, by paying attention to the way your body feels, you'll be able to tell when you're in ketosis. Good signs of ketosis are weight loss, more sustained energy without the usual afternoon dips you typically experience when you're burning glucose for fuel, and reduced hunger and cravings. Appetite suppression is one of the most meaningful and obvious signs of ketosis. My patients who are used to battling the constant gnawing sensation of hunger when they're eating a carb-heavy diet say the feeling of being hunger-free while losing weight is one of the most rewarding and miraculous aspects of my keto diet plan. Once you've reached a solid place with ketosis, you can start exercising normally. Regular physical activity is beneficial for everyone. In order to support your workouts, make sure you consume enough calories in general, and especially get plenty of fat. If you're wiped out after a workout, it means you need to consider two possible solutions: consuming a bit more fuel and reducing the intensity of your routine. When you do high-intensity exercise, your body shifts to using glucose as fuel, regardless of whether you're in ketosis or not. So, when you're on my 30-day keto diet program, moderate intensity exercise is the fat-burning, muscle-building sweet spot. Once you're on the Forever Keto cycling plan, you can schedule your workouts for the days when you're eating more carbs, an approach that allows you to train at a high intensity and continue to reap the benefits of ketosis. I believe that arming you with information will set you up for success, but information alone isn't enough. My keto diet plan won't be fully effective unless you're willing to make some simple but significant changes. There's no magic bullet to transform your health. The only solution is to give up starvation diets and start living a lifestyle that will create long-term, sustainable wellness. You'll see results quickly with my keto diet program, but you shouldn't think of this program as temporary, something you're going to do until you turn around your blood sugar numbers or reach your goal weight. If you want to truly take charge of your health, you need to recommit every day with every meal. Small slips are going to happen. Beating yourself up for them is counterproductive and can make it more likely that you'll abandon the program. Just acknowledge that you've strayed from your plan and move on. Each meal is a new opportunity to make choices that align with your overall goals. This isn't a sprint. It's not even a marathon. There is no finish line. By pledging yourself to this program, you're embracing a new way of eating that will set you up for a lifetime of wellness. The payoff is huge: a vibrant, disease-free future.